Hello! It's been a minute. This music's a little loud, so I'm going to turn it down. I was already fiddling a little bit with the settings, but let's maybe turn that down to 60. No, time maybe down a little bit further. Yeah, when was the last time I did anything? I don't know. Like June, May, I don't know. It's been like way too long. But EU5 came out today, and that's kind of given me an excuse to actually sit down and try and do something. So here we are. Oh, that was a very well timed sneeze. So, I didn't get a preview copy or anything of this. I've been watching a bunch of videos of people who have, though. Ah, jingles, hey! So, yeah, I'm sort of going in having watched a couple of videos and reviews and things, but I'm also going in a little bit blind.
So be it.
Oh, for goodness sake. Craig PD, hello, and a bunch of subs. Thank you very much.
So be it. Jedi.
I am expecting maybe some iffiness, maybe some crashes. That might have been fixed for the launch version. There might be some bugs.
Jedi.
I honestly don't know. I did have in mind, there was another thing I had in mind to do. And then, of course, the other big Paradox release that there's just been was the All Under Heaven update for CK3. And that, of course, broke the mod which I was planning to use. So that is maybe going to be a thing you can look forward to. I still don't know if that's going to be a stream or a video, though. So, yeah, EU5. I've had mixed... Like, the EU3 was my first EU game. I've never loved them the same way I've loved the CK series, which I've played since the first Crusader Kings. And I never really got into EU4 in the same way that I got into EU3, particularly with the MEIOU mod, which I think I did. I must have done a video on that way back when. And then there was a similar effort, but combining two different mods for EU3. The two projects got together and came up with the Mayu and Taxis mod for EU4. And I tried playing that, and I just, there was something about EU4, even base game EU4, and I think particularly the mana system, just was kind of a little bit off-putting. So I'm really curious to see how EU5 compares. They've gone back in some ways to EU3. We now have actual province populations, and we have sliders once again, as the video title suggests. So yeah, but it will be kind of hard for me to go back to playing EU3 at this point, just because EU4 added a lot more provinces to the map, a lot of granularity, and in EU5 they've added even more provinces. Well, this is already a bit. I might have to turn down some. I can't believe I'm saying this for a Europa Universalis title, but I might have to turn down some of the graphics settings because it's being very. Yeah, it's not too bad once it's done that initial jumpiness, I suppose. We'll see how we go. But yeah, I've seen there are some criticisms aside from potential bugginess which may have been fixed, that some people don't like the UI, that you have to dig through a lot of menus to get to where you want to go. Some people have criticised it as being there's a lot of waiting around and not doing much, which to me that just sounds like Europa Universalis. It's a game, it's a series where it's always been make your own goals, and in EU4 they actually went away a little bit from that with the whole mission tree system, which was kind of good and kind of not. It's another aspect I never really fully got on board with for EU4, because to be honest, okay, yes, it gives you something to sort of aim towards, potentially, but if you don't want to do the things that the mission tree has set out for you, if you want to take a different path, then all of those bonuses that are set down in the mission tree are just, like, unobtainable. So, they've kind of moved away from that as well. I believe there are sort of missions still in here, but it'll be interesting to see all the lessons they've taken from the games that came out since EU4 and how they've applied that to EU5. Because, of course, the series may feel a bit disconnected sort of mechanically, but there's always going to be iteration in terms of, them having learned what worked and what didn't in previous titles. So, I mean, this, for instance, what I've seen has a trading mechanic that might even actually be as in-depth, if not more in-depth, than Victoria 3. So, and that's the whole economic side of things in EU3 is that's meant to be one of the main focuses of the game. And trade in EU4 and EU3 was always a little bit hands-off, you placed merchants and you could maybe change government types and, change ideas to focus more on trade and get more money from trade. But, I mean, there's ways of going trade focus in this game which don't even involve holding territory. You can literally play as the Hanseatic League, which doesn't hold any territory. So, hype chest. What's a hype chest? I don't know. Okay. We got a little emote thing, apparently. It's a little cat with sunglasses. I approve of cats with sunglasses. So yeah, I mean, you can play as literally extraterritorial entities in this game, which, I mean, the only thing that's remotely similar to that is like Republican houses in CK2, where you might not necessarily even hold a city, but you've always got that sort of off-map holding of your estate. And that idea then sort of came over to CK3, and I'm now waiting eagerly for trade republics to once again appear in CK3, because it seems like mechanically they should be able to do that now. Anyway, I am unsurprisingly going to be going for Scotland, but we're going to have a little scroll around the map first. I don't think there's any, we don't have any alternate New World starts or anything like that, but there are some New World nations, confederations, tribes that you can play as. And that undoubtedly is going to be just as challenging as it was in previous EU games. I mean, it's just a different start date, which is... They've gone for an elite start date because reasons. I kind of miss... EU4 went for bookmarks. In EU3, you could literally sit and pick any start date between the beginning and end start dates of the game, and the map would change. And one of the reasons why they dropped that for EU4 was they determined that it was a feature that an absolute minority of people ever used, and it was just a huge amount of work basically tracking the entire history through several hundred years of what they thought, who should own different provinces and what development level they should be and all that kind of stuff. So I could see why it was still a bit disappointing going from EU3 to EU4 and only having then a limited number of bookmarks. And doubtless, like other Paradox games, will get DLC that will add later bookmarks. We'll probably get mods that try and add earlier bookmarks. Who knows? But for now, yeah, this is what we have. 1st of April, 1337. So we have actually some options here. In the UK, we've got Noob Island here, although was Noob Island ever really considered Noob Island for the EU series? I feel like that's always been a CK thing. But we do have England. We have now. Are these like subsects, or are these? Is there a way of seeing who? We might as well. I don't know if we can even. Presumably we turn on like Iron Man and achievements when we actually click the play button. But yeah, we've actually got like France kind of looks familiar. You've got the various appanages of France, which are just various vassals. You've got Brittany, Normandy. This is all sort of vaguely familiar, but we have down here Edward Baliol, which is interesting. So he's controlling part of... I'll even have some descriptive text. So we're actually at the stage where... I mean, a lot of people just think, oh, Scotland, and it's always been, Scotland, and actually it's had its own fairly tumultuous history. So we have a kind of interesting bit of history here. So we've got Baliol, who is essentially in the middle of the Scottish Civil War. We've got Edward Baliol, who's backed by the English. We've got... Andrew of Murray, who is regent. So who was he regent for? I can't remember. Oh, David Bruce, that was it. Okay. So yeah, and then you have also more mairedoms of Moray and Ross. You've got the Lord of the Isles, which is probably what I'll be playing as. And they are, I think at this point, basically actually independent. Whereas these two are going to be like vassals? I don't know. But there are bits of Scotland, I mean, particularly Fife. Literally the signs as you're going into Fife, which is the bit that's north of Edinburgh, the road signs as you go in literally still say the Kingdom of Fife, and people still sort of colloquially refer to it as the Kingdom of Fife. So yeah, let's see what we've got then. So one thing they have done, that they've differentiated, and this is kind of borrowing from the Crusader Kings side of things, instead of just everything being a de facto standing army, they've actually differentiated between the standing army troops you have and the levies that you can raise. So not a big population. We have 7 locations, which are like the areas within the bits of territory that you hold. So like some might be especially dense. So like this area probably has like 4 or 5 locations within it. I don't know exactly. This is literally my first time firing this up. Whereas the more sparse regions, like the Isle of Man, has only got a single location. So yeah, sort of the equivalent of the subdivisions that you see in, well, again, Crusader Kings games. So yeah, you can see that influence bleeding through. So yeah, we're not going to be particularly populous. We're not going to be particularly rich. But we might have some interesting opportunities here. Oh, I thought it would give you the opportunity to like do Iron Man or get achievements, or I don't. Okay, maybe not. So I have a bunch of hints. One of the things I've seen is, there's a lot of automation in this game. You can automate just basically any or all areas that you please, and one of the hints I saw was try doing that to start with, for the bits that you don't understand, and just try and learn it a bit at a time. But we're going to go back to can we exit to the main menu? I actually want to try and turn on achievements. So oh, that was recommended countries. We didn't want that. Oh, there was a thing in the corner that said play with any country, wasn't there? I know what I'm doing. I really don't. Literally the first time playing this. I don't know why it's so stuttery with the music. It's a bit odd. Might just be while it's loading, even though it's on an SSD. Okay, how... Okay, there's game rules. Ah, right, so we can... Is it... Okay, okay, they've done it that way. Previous, like, I kind of liked in other games, like CK3, for example, it's based on like you can be running mods and it'll give you achievements so long as you don't. Like it's tied to the ruler creation cap if you're doing a custom ruler. And I like that, and I think in Vic 3 they just were like, right, you can have mods and still get achievements and that's fine, but apparently this is the old-fashioned way where you have to have Iron Man on. So, we're going to do that. Well, I didn't even look at the... yeah, okay, so normal difficulty, AI difficulty, historical AI, country change... Oh, okay, so you can set it so that you can switch countries mid playthrough. That's fine. Default, that's turned off. Missions. Missions enabled. Full access to missions. Okay, interesting. So missions are considered non-achievement compatible. Interesting. And then we've got multiplayer flavor. Formable countries allow plausible, allow historical. So they've allowed you some choice over that. Colonization, exploration. Okay, so basically everything is sort of at its default. You can change Byzantium to be the ERE. You could actually do that without changing any. These are purely sort of cosmetic changes. Institution spawns, dynamic. Have that Black Death. This is going to be a major event that happens relatively early in the game. So, yeah. Again, diseases, plagues, much more now modelled after. I don't even need that as a preset. So, much more now modelled after. Like the CK series. Okay, so we are again going to click the Isles. I don't know how far I'm going to get or survive, but we'll see. Yeah, well, it's been a lot of months, Foo. Right, so basically, I have some options. Apparently playing tall is, as in not going for an expansionist agenda, but just like basically staying within your own borders and just building up trade and earning lots of wealth and then hiring mercenaries if you need them, and that sort of thing is all going to be a lot more possible now. Or maybe a lot easier. Because again, EU4 was like... you kind of had to go big or go home, and you couldn't really play tall unless you were doing a bit of safe scumming with like diplomacy essentially, and getting lots of guarantees and sort of playing a heavy diplomatic game. And playing a heavy diplomatic game, okay, that kind of makes sense, but it's very kind of RNG dependent. And yeah, so are we starting at war with? So what's our relationship? Right, this is... can I see diplomacy? Society, diplomacy. Where do we stand? Catholic Church panel. So we are our overlord is... Oh, interesting. Okay, so we're starting off as effectively a vassal of Balliol, which is why we're belligerent to Scotland in particular. We've declared Ross as our rival. And we have a royal marriage between ourselves and... wait, we have dynastic ties with Ross, but they are also our rival. EU5... Oh, EU5, this is literally just come out today, Foo. This is like the latest Paradox release. So we can also create subjects from this screen. Custom subjects, interesting. So even if they aren't like actual historical polities, we can still release. Well, we can't because we're at war, but we can still release different like areas as subjects anyway. Okay, that gives quite a lot of flexibility. Oh yes, basically they've. It's a bit tongue in cheek, but there were a lot, like when EU4 came out, there were a lot of people that were a bit like, oh my god, no more sliders, this is unplayable. Because EU3 did a lot of things via, like, basically different sort of sliders, and EU5 has brought back sliders for some things. So what? Okay, so I think this is our various estates. So we have like the Crown estate essentially, and again, estates not new, but I think the approach to it is a bit more modernised and updated. But balancing your estates was something that only came later in EU4. That was a thing that DLC added. So we have the clans, interesting, as their own estate. We have the clergy, we have the commoners. Okay, we have... well, they're calling it Tinwald, interesting. So we can call a parliament and basically try and get various bonuses. Because traditionally, you know, you wanted to raise taxes or raise an army or whatever, you called a parliament to do so. There's lots of shenanigans with that, certainly in English history. Cabinet members, now this is entirely new. I'm trying to think if there's anything like Imperator, basically, and of course you've got the council and Crusader King, so we can appoint council members. And this is a little bit unlike, like, EU4 had advisors, but advisors cost you money, and they just basically gave you extra mana, as it was dubbed. So I think cabinet members represent a different role, so they'll actually, it looks like they give different like boosts to all areas potentially, but some stronger than others. So this guy's like strong Diplo. This guy's very strong Diplo, 72. That guy's got strong military. That guy's got very strong admin. So let's go with... I mean, this guy's even better. Let's go with him. He represents the clergy estate, so presumably they'll be happy. He is part of my dynasty, so presumably... or part of a dynasty. Is that my dynasty, the MacLeods? I don't know if that's a thing you can... I'll figure out where everything is eventually. But where was it? Diplomacy. It wasn't diplomacy, was it? I've lost where I was now. I was looking at... was it here? Government... Oh yeah, no, it was just straight in the government tab. So yeah, we can have 2 cabinet members. So we'll go for you. And okay, so we can actually look with... Oh, okay, so this is different things we can do with this person. So right to head of cabinet. Interesting. Okay, so that will make the clergy happy if we sort of elevate them to a senior position. And that's an automation rule. Okay, and we'll maybe go for someone with a decent admin, so we'll get him in the other cabinet slot. Right, so this is before we've even paused. So we've got cabinet slots, cabinet actions. We can assign them to do various things. Societal values. We can... Do we need province control anywhere? I haven't even looked at the provinces. So effective control, we can maybe try and more effectively control. So that's going to be... Oh, we can try and get more people moving here as well. Okay, encourage migration. Integrate province. Assimilation. Settle tribesmen to peasants. We can use them for foreign actions, so we can get people to be disloyal to their overlords. Stabilize countries. Stability investment. Legitimacy. Okay. We'll maybe go for... Right, province development is an admin task, so we'll get you on province development in the Outer Hebrides, and you are strong on diplo and military, so we'll get you doing... Let's integrate province. Okay, right, so we can actually integrate provinces we can control, and that's a thing we have to assign cabinet members to. So that's going to pop up on the map that that's happening. Again, just like CK3, where it gives you sort of visual icons for what you're doing. So Parliament, I don't think we can do anything with that at the moment. Okay, we have laws that we can potentially change. Court language, interesting. Again, that's CK3. Wonder what effect that has. Military laws, levy laws. We might need. So that would take us. Okay, so that would take us closer to quantity ideas. How is life in the Outer Hebrides? It's been very wet. And I'm also, they've got me doing night shifts now at work because it's gotten very, very quiet. So I'm doing one of those after the stream. Essentially deep cleaning parts of the kitchen. So that's like throwing my sleep schedule around a bit, unsurprisingly. Okay, so we don't really want decentralization, but food. I mean, we're probably heavily relying on fish as a main source of food. De jure laws. Okay, so different laws enable different policies. Basically, yes, there's also a night manager around, but they're doing their own thing, but we at least sort of cross paths sometimes. And maybe chat a bit, because, you know, there's no one else to talk to in the middle of the night. He's been quite happy to have someone else to chat to a couple of times a week. Okay, we can go for common law legal code, royal court customs, itinerant court. Again, that would go for... We don't really want decentralization. I think we want to try and do things that get centralization, but the satisfaction, equilibrium, and stability investment cost being down. Oh no, that's what we are currently. Oh, this is our current laws. Right, okay. And it shows... Okay. So we could go for no censorship. Oh, I see. Right, so I don't know what the limits are on... oh, you can scroll through them as well. Interesting. I don't know what the limits are on, like, how many laws you can pass at once, so... okay, interesting. So if we want to... if we want to change where we're going, okay, favour the common people, we could do that. 730 days. Okay, so there is like a time cost, and we presumably will be only able to do one at a time. So do we... What kind of... Okay, so all our laws currently with this government, apart from Central Council. We'll maybe go for Central Council. And that will take us towards aristocratic values and also centralisation, and it'll improve cabinet efficiency. At the moment we've got a little bit of food production bonus, so let's go for central council. So we'll go for a bit of centralisation. That, I presume, is that, so that's going to be a while. We have all these flags at the top as well that we haven't even looked at yet. So economy, let's take a look at the economy. Look, sliders! Sliders! Oh my god, sliders! We're currently losing a bit of cash. And we can either try and trim expenses or raise, like, our tax incomes are minimal. We're really not making any money, are we? Wow, this is almost nothing. So we can increase minting at a cost of inflation. And if we mint, right, our economy is so low that putting minting up to maximum, presumably we need, like, gold. Do we actually need gold to mint coins, or silver? I don't know. I don't even know. Have I got, right, these are actual, gosh, I don't even, alright, I haven't even looked at military yet. I'm just figuring things out at the moment. So we've got, okay, we have, you can place things on different flanks, or they favour certain flanks, certain kinds of interesting, certain kinds of, so again, there's a bit more. I mean, warfare's always been rather sort of opaque and hands-off for the most part. I think nothing's going to give you quite as much control as the Hearts of Iron games, but yeah. Anyway, we were looking at economy. We can't really afford to do anything with army or navy maintenance at the moment. Okay, you actually actively have to spend money on stability, so it's not a matter of accumulate enough admin points anymore. It's all a matter of economic investment. Okay, AGC, well, I'm recording this and I will probably do a little bit of editing and putting it up on the channel. So can we, is that a max cap? Okay, I think we have max caps of things. We can't at all tax the clergy at the moment. We have the various automation things at the moment. Okay, so you can automatically armor maintenance. So that by default it'll make things go up. Right, so we could okay, so if I right click, oh, okay, so that's just map overlays. Interesting. Okay, so I've set it to automation. I don't know. I'll probably set markets to automation at the moment as well. We're currently part of the Edinburgh market. I have seen a feature is the ability to basically create your own markets and compete. And was it EU4, EU3? I can't remember, but you could also in that like create your own trade nodes and try and compete basically. So that's not necessarily a new feature, but it's nice to see it return and have like a whole economic dependence gameplay going on. So we can take a quick look at the markets, see what's being traded. There are a lot of goods, and it's not going to be a global market like it is in Victoria 3, but yeah, you can see what I was talking about when I was saying that it, you know, maybe rivals Victoria 3 in terms of like the trading thing. So we'll automate that and trading at the moment, and I don't know what that's going to necessarily do. the estates, we've got the clergy estate are a bit... they're happier at the moment because I've given them cabinet positions. The other estates maybe not so much. Clergy have got a lot of estate power. Commoners barely any. So production. It's all. I mean, there's all kind of different buildings that you can build. And how do I go back to the regular map mode? Terrain, political, there we go. But presumably these cost money and manpower, so so it sort of tells you what the most sort of profitable things to build would be. But I don't know if we've got any like building slots available at the moment, which is basically tied to development from what I understand. So again, we're just gonna automate a lot of this to start with. So we're not making a lot of food. We're not making a lot of food globally, but some of our provinces are making enough food to sustain themselves. Okay, so society. So this is going to be more of an informational tab. Primary culture, Norse Gale. Cultural tradition. Now, what does cultural tradition mean or do? Culture war. Interesting. Okay. So you can have a sort of cultural tug of war going on. We have Highlander culture and we have Scots, sort of more lowlander culture. I wonder if you can... So this is kind of like the primary culture. New culture as an accepted culture. Okay. So that's we can add that as an accepted culture, which we maybe should do. And then we have Scots, which we have a very low presence of in our country. So we'll maybe that's going to add. Cultural capacity limit. Okay, that's a thing. So that's going to give us some penalties. So I didn't even know there was a limit, but that's interesting. Works of art. Okay, these are all things. We have religion. It's going to be fully Catholic at the moment. And we can actually have various interactions with the Catholic Church. Liturgical language. Okay. Presumably there's going to be all kinds of things going on with that. And then we have some demography going on. So we can see different kinds of... So we have lots of tribesmen. So basically like people living... like just all the tiny wee villages all over the place, and we'll have not a lot in the way of like any kind of developed settlements. Diplomacy, relations, I don't think we want to automate that. Known countries. So at the moment, much like when you're starting off in EU, you know, you can only see so much of the world. So that tells us, yeah, so there's filters for that, that's fine. So that tells us who we are sort of friendly with, who we are not friendly with. So unsurprisingly, our overlord is our best relation at the moment, and then we have decent relations with various Irish polities. And then organisations. So yeah, like I said, there are extraterritorial organisations. So that's interesting. So we have, okay, so like marriage unions are a part of this grouping, Swiss Confederation. So this is a new way of organising things that we've not had, I don't think. This is going to be various bits of... this is going to be Italian states? Yeah, HRE in Italy. Oh, I see. Okay. We've got the HRE and instead of it just being like its own separate thing, it's now part of this. It doesn't have necessarily like its own sort of standalone mechanic going on anymore. That's an improvement. The church, so presumably all religions count as this. So, yeah, that's really interesting. Okay, and then we have. So we can select a nearby country and say we want to curry favours or declare war, or okay, so there's kind of like an overview screen for the actions that you want to do, and then you select what you want to do. So that's sort of an inversion of the way it was before, where you had the country and then you had a whole list of things. You've actually got the list of things and then you select the country. So it's a sort of little UI change. So let's curry favours with the Balliol regime, and we can like request money or maybe request some like military assistance, or I don't even know. So we'll keep that under my own thing for the moment. Military, so these are our two armies. We have a navy. A very, very small navy. So we can't actually transport anybody anywhere via navy at the moment. Is that... What is that? Is that a fleet? That's a, oh, stockade. So that's a fortification. So can I get these guys over here? I can. Okay. Try and link them up. So we don't have any levies. We don't have any. So we would have to create footman regiments, or we would have to create like regular army regiments, and then levies are basically your raised peasantry. But we barely have any population, so we don't really have any raised peasantry. And we can hire a mercenary leader, so we can have like a mercenary general, but we can't. Or presumably, okay, so hire a mercenary leader to gather mercenaries for you, but we don't have the money for that. Okay, so that's fine. We'll handle that ourselves for the time being. Geopolitics, this just looks like interesting. I wonder if this is where you do like, yeah, exploration. Maybe colonization happens from here. Okay, so that's like, oh yeah, okay, so that's all like way off in the future. We won't have like the technological or anything. Maritime, now this is interesting. What is this? So this is the various sea provinces that are adjacent to our territories, and or is that just where we trade through? It just says relevant to your country, so it's giving me things like trade power, presence, so that'll be presumably higher if we can like have militaries patrolling or whatever. Then we have diseases, and this actually gives you like a shortcut to specifically build disease resistance buildings, but we don't have money for that, or maybe even the technology for that, I don't know. So yeah, that's like an information tab. Advances, this is going to be our technology, because there is a proper tech tree in this. So we've gone full on like Hoi 4 Victoria tech tree, as opposed to just using your various mana types to tick through the ages in a fixed pattern. You now actually have some control over what you want to be doing, and it's all sorted out by the ages. So ages are still present, and they're now integrated with technology. So we can see text that we've already started with. So is this okay, no, we don't actually. So is that like a, or is that just like suggesting that we should be researching that? Possible clerics. We don't necessarily need extra clerics right now, so we've got oh, is that like where it started? Okay, so you still have feudalism like spawning in different locations, and different things spawning in different locations. Okay. So oh no, okay, the highlighted ones are ones that we already have, or don't already have. So this is all basically already all researched. Right, so it's okay, so we have to have organised religion. Okay, that's the only possible one we can have right now. So we've also got, okay, so that tells you what's there afterwards. Okay, so that's the different sort of sub-menus. We have, what's going on down here? Oh, that's just the map mode we have at the moment. We have shortcuts, I guess. I wonder if you can customize that. We have our outliner settings telling us what we're doing. So we're developing our Hebrides, current admin system, current navies, First Scottish Civil War, which is that war score? Hey Hilty! What's the market? So we then have, oh, okay, this is purely informational ledger. The good old ledger. So I can look up even more information here. Some of it's the same, just laid out differently. Maybe, I don't know if there's the tools for doing something like that at the moment. So we've got then the in-game help, got a bit of finding different things. Oh, there's an automation tab, so you can actually see all the automations you've got turned on or off. As you can see, I've turned on a whole bunch of them at the moment. So we're sort of keeping control of the political and the military, and then I've automated like the economic side of things for now, which seems like a fair thing to do because we are starting in the middle of a war. So actually, let's unpause. So we've got achievements, yay! Ships are not repairing. Why does that take me to the market tab? Oh, lack of goods in the... So I need salt? Okay, so there are maintenance goods for your military. We need a commander. I don't think I don't think we have anyone we can appoint as... Oh no, but there is. So we can appoint you as the general. Okay, so we can also appoint our leader as the general, but that always comes with risks. You're walking through. How long are you going to take? 9th April, so a couple of days. We don't have a lot of troops, so I don't think we can do much other than harass. Unmarried, with nobody at the moment is available, so we can't do anything like that. Our main heir is okay, so if the current person died, we'd have a regency. RGOs lacking employees. We have basically... Okay, so RGOs, that's straight out of... like literally straight out of Victoria. So we do actually have like various buildings and industries, but we literally don't have the population to staff them all. Over cultural capacity at the moment, that's fine, we know about that. Possible diplomatic actions. So this is, instead of having like discrete diplomats that you like assign and that are tied up like Stellaris and EU4, instead we have this pool of diplo power. So we do have diplo mana, but it's just like different diplo mana. I don't know. So basically we could do more diplo actions. So I can like curry favors with... I don't know. We could curry favors with England. And that cost us 1, and then that's refilling, and we can curry favors with the papal estates or the Pope. So that'll build up. War exhaustion. Manpower is at 0. Sailors, so we have separate sailors. Oh, I didn't even notice. Oh, it's because we went through. Oh, didn't even notice that. So this is what battle screens look like. So we lost. We got inspirational leader though. That's interesting. So that army is beaten, but doesn't necessarily mean it got destroyed. We got those 18 dudes down there. I'm totally being a bystander at the moment, so that presumably will reinforce. They are slowly marching their way towards... Shall we set the... back to the terrain map? Like I said, graphically, I mean, the interface is alright, and you zoom out and... but it doesn't... Honestly, you look at this, like, compared to even Victoria 3, I think Victoria 3 looks nicer than this. So, it's no great graphical powerhouse, and hey, it's an EU game, it was never going to be, but the fact that it looks kind of maybe not quite as nice as EU3 is a bit... as Victoria 3 is maybe a bit disappointing, or at least on a par with Victoria 3. Right, so yeah, well, we have basically no armies. There's not a lot we can do about that. So that army was wiped. But the general's still alive, so we can assign them to the army of 0 people, which is currently being forced to retreat. Oh, right, we've got the fight going on. I honestly have no idea like if this is an unwinnable start from the point of view of being saddled to the Baliols, but I don't know, the Baliols might win. We'll see. How are things on the godforsaken rock out in the Atlantic? Wet and dark, basically, so yeah. Okay, so it looks like they won. They've continued sieging, and then the Scottish army is being forced. Presumably, does that mean they're retreating, or does that just mean they've got a general? Oh, that just lets you click on... just lets you see that they've got a leader. Right, so we now have no armies. That army, I don't know what happened there, it just kind of collapsed. Get rid of that. Possible reforms. We can add a government reform. Interesting. Oh, okay, right. So we can add a reform so you can add reforms to the different estates. This is sort of similar to EU4. I did fire up EU4 in the days before this came out, just to reacquaint myself with some of the systems, and also it kind of reminded me of the bits that I don't really like. Agricultural, so we can sort of encourage various things. Trade office network, Diplo range, trade range, crown power. And there's some things that aren't actually available. Let's just go with. So we want extra food production. Will leave us less reliant on trade. But we could also go. Well, at the moment I don't think that really affects us, like Diplo range, trade range. So we'll go with food production. So at the moment we have Celtic traditions and agricultural cultivation. Oh, I see. So this is the. Okay, so forced religions, religious literacy rights, hunting permits, communal lands. So I can't actually. Can we add more things? Is there a limit? It's not actually entirely clear. I'm not sure yet, to be honest. We're kind of going to go for a historical playthrough in that we want to limit the power of the clans. Form new country. Okay, so that's how we. Oh, so we can not only we can reform type of government, but we can also. This is how you reform into like bigger titles. Okay, so he's just improving opinion. Request food access from Baliol. Now, what is food access? Armies and navies to gather food from locations of other countries. Oh, okay, all right. Air can have better education. Balanced education, admin, Diplo, military, expensive education. We can't do that. So you can specialize a bit. I don't know. We'll go with admin. We're trying to reform the country and grow the country, so we'll go with admin. Welcome to EU5, yes. Right, how do I recruit? Do we have to have recruitment buildings? Recruit footmen. Oh goodness, they're expensive. They're very expensive. So we basically have no military apart from like a single ship now. We had a couple hundred dudes who got stomped on by the Scottish armies. But it's sort of. We're just sort of watching the Baliols do things, basically. So we can actually go to speed 3, I think. Prestige is declining, not surprised. Legitimacy increasing. Population's going up, but the Black Death is going to hammer everybody. Stability is actually increasing. Okay, so we're at minus 70, but it's going up. I mean, I've automated that, so I don't think there's much I can do there. This is why I'm currying favours. I might be able to ask for cash from people. If I go to diplomacy. We can like it's interesting because it actually tells you how many people you can interact with for each action, the way they're doing it that way. Well, we're in the middle of the Scottish of the English backed Balliol versus Bruce civil war, and we've actually just had the 100 Years' War kick off as well. So England's going to be a bit distracted at the moment, and this is like a specific thing, like a situation, that's what it's called. So again, as we have kind of like the regional struggle mechanic in EU3, we now have situations EU3 in CK3. We now have these situations popping up for kind of various historical regional things. I mean, it's going to be historical for the 100 Years' War because it's basically right after game start, but presumably there are sort of more dynamic ones that can come along as well. That's actually, what does it say for shift, for hint? Open with hint. What is the hint? I don't know how you undo it. How do you select I don't know. I don't know if there's a way to do that, or if it's just on a cooldown. Or it requires stability to do. Right, okay, so you spend stability for that, which is probably why I went to -70. I didn't even see that. Right, okay. So we're just going to have to be over our limit. We're at 1.54 over 1. But presumably that can be improved with technology, question mark? I really don't know. Oh, okay, the Balliols are now losing, it looks like. They won that first fight, but we're now down to their forces being severely hammered, but they're replenishing stockpiles? I don't know if manpower replenishes. Looks like they've mostly got levies there. It looks like the AI behaves relatively similarly, so you've got this smaller, these sieging forces next to each other so they can support each other. Nope, here we go, here's a fight. Balliol's getting thrashed. Oh, the hints come up on that side. Oh, okay. So I think the Balliol side of this war is going to lose, to be honest. How do I look at, like... Okay, that's... Oh, there we go. Oh, okay, it's based on zoom level. It's like other games, so it's based on zoom level, whether you get the Diplo view or whether you get the actual county view. Okay, so... you can still do it this way as well. Died after being attacked by a wild animal. I bet it was a sheep. You've got to watch out for those sheep. So we've lost a cabinet member. There's the 100 Years' War situation. So got government, cabinet, point that guy. Don't have anyone. So does he automatically keep doing development? Yes. We don't have anyone that's particularly good at admin, so yeah. Also, he's from a different estate, so will that... Okay, so we can actually see the estate satisfaction changing a little bit because we've changed the cabinet balance of power a little bit. So yeah, I really don't know what's going to happen at the end of this war. I also don't quite know yet how manpower replenishment happens. But we don't have any recruitment buildings, so presumably if you don't have recruitment buildings, it's not going to... You don't have the manpower pool as you had previously without building infrastructure first. and we just don't have the population. Yes, yeah. So levies are your peasant levies, and then you have like your professional army. So that's a distinction that the EU series has never made before, but we do now made. It is now making. The chieftains gain estate satisfaction. We don't have the gold. That's most of our remaining. Like we just don't. Okay, so show character information. We're showing her a party, and then she can get to work. So, does that mean? Oh, we can grant cabinet rights to. Okay, that's going to cost us 20 legitimacy, which is currently ticking down. I'm not sure how one would increase that. Do I see? She's actually not got terrible stats, so I'll maybe not do that right now, but yeah, shall we move those ships up to the Western Isles? Where are they even docking? It's like Carlaway. It's a weird place. You'd think it'd be in Stornoway Harbour, but nope. Okay, we have a little event. Prestige event. We can have prestige or legitimacy loss. I mean, kind of need both. I mean, there even is like prestige is already like rock bottom. So let's see what happens. So you can't go lower than 0. We've also refilled our Diplo pool, so let's do some more Diplo stuff. Improve opinion. So again, we can have multiple acts going on, and it's not based on the number of diplomats you've got, it's based on this little pool that you've got, and presumably that will increase over time with various tax or things. Profess trust, interesting. Propose royal marriage, we really need to be able to do that with somebody. Covert actions, build spy network. Can we build a spy network in Scotland? Okay, so that actually costs us some Diplo power in terms of like how fast it refreshes, so that's fine. It's just trying things out, really. Oh, interesting. Fondaco. What's a Fondaco? Market access. Doesn't actually increase them. So that's going to be like some kind of little trade enclave, maybe. We can request a loan. We can request a loan from banks. Banks exist as separate organisations. I don't know if you can play as a bank. That might be kind of cool. You can literally just spend your time like loaning out money to people. Send economic support. Can we request economic support? Market access preference. Is this people who will say yes? So we can actually increase our sort of market attractiveness with them. That's fine. I don't know if they're going to win that war. I don't know how long this is going to last, but we'll see. Access actions, can't do anything like that at the moment. Quest. So do we don't have 10%. Oh wow, the loans are pitiful. We can have a loan of 0.04 ducats. Yeah, no, I don't think that's going to make a difference. Our economy is basically non-existent. Yeah, so we can get rid of that. Oh, you can right-click on things. So you can right. Oh, okay. So you can right click and see the little. You can right click to see the map modes. That's cool. Okay. So how is this actually going? Like, do we get to see a bigger breakdown of that, or no? Okay, the Baliol Civil War is over. We didn't really get we got a thing, but not a tab. So okay, truce with Scotland. So presumably that has our legitimacy is actually going up once again. Presumably it was down because we were at war. So if I go back to diplomacy, do I have to redo things with Scotland? Veneration of relics. A treaty opposing this practice has been found in Isles Argyll, nailed to the door of one of our churches, which has a very substantial relic collection. So, and make our population in Isles Argyll follow Catholicism unhappy. Or we can lose 2 gold. Let's see what happens if we go with that option. Right, so diplomacy action. We'll curry favours with Scotland. And we can't do any more just now, so that's fine. So that, how much of that is like Scotland's standing army and how much of that is levies? I think that's basically, is that all? Oh no, okay, I think that's all like standing troops, Shieldtrons, that's actual. Okay. Right, so I don't know. We lost what very few troops we had. Markets with few. Okay. So the Scottish market is currently. So food presumably is like a primary function of. So they're sort of burning through their stockpile at the moment. Population needs in the Edinburgh market. So we get everything that we need from the market, but it's currently not. Okay. So basically we would need money to do anything. And we don't have any money. So I don't really know. This may be a very silly start trying to do this. So we might just be kind of like twiddling our thumbs waiting for technologies to... Yeah, oh, we can actually see, okay, that's kind of cool. So we're currently a loyal subject of Scotland, okay. Yeah, so we're just sort of waiting for cabinet things to finish and... we can do various... Diplo, so we can maybe poke around a little bit more now that we're not at war. What have we got? Right, so we may be plagued by corruption, but we try to ensure those closest to the Lord can be trusted at the very least. Okay, so this is a corruption event. Our cabinet minister has been caught taking large bribes from people who already wield great influence, so we shall... Oh, we can execute them. Quiet retirement and house arrest, which basically means that permanently bars them from being in the cabinet again. Or we can... So we can sort of take the public hit to prestige, which... I mean, we could do anyway, because we have no prestige, so we can't lose prestige any further. So we'll have to appoint a new cabinet member. There we go, so they're going to keep doing the job that the previous one was doing. They've got decent admin, but not that great. We've taken a loan from the estates. Okay, so we've taken a loan from within our own country. But we're still losing money. So I don't know. I've left this entirely in the hands of... Oh, okay, so you can go and take a loan from banks, or you can like take a loan from your own estates. Yeah, okay. Do I just stand down to this ship? It's not going to save us much money, but it'll at least save us a little bit of money. It's like the one thing that we have left. I don't know. Anyway, right, advance this tree. So, back onto the tech tree. I think it was over here. So we can have scholasticism. And we can increase the number of burghers and the max literacy. We can have monthly diplomats. Okay, we'll go for monthly diplomats up by 0.05. So that pool will refill faster. Yes, I know these things, I know. Lack of commander, can we set... There we go, you're a commander now, well done. Okay, that's an option apparently. Marry a lowborn. Arrange a royal marriage, nobody wants to... We might have to go for marry a lowborn, to be honest. To the disgrace of the lordship. Right, we'll lose prestige, which is a bit rubbish, but legitimacy is not the biggest hit, so that's fine. So we've married just some random commoner. She's actually got a pretty decent military score. We're just going to be stuck in a cycle of taking out loans. I don't know what happens if you reach, like, bankruptcy? I don't know. Also, we were currying favour with England. What happened with that? Increased privileges of the chieftains come additional duties. Okay, so we've got some... Chieftains should always lead the masses. So that's going to lean us towards aristocracy and quantity. Or we can go with plutocracy and quality. So we'll go for maybe more of a merit-based system, see how that affects things. So there is a lot to get through, and it's like there's a lot at the moment where I'm just looking at it. I'm just kind of glancing at it, and it's like I have no idea what I'm looking at. But I'll get there in the end. I think at the moment we just need to get more population is the thing. We have a very slow population growth overall. And it's not like we're ever going to have a huge pop capacity, but yeah. Yes, I know, you don't have to keep telling me that. Also, I swear I set them as... Oh, I can't appoint them as an admiral. Oh, because they're working as a... Okay, so I'd appoint you as an admiral. Right, doesn't matter, doesn't matter. Go away. Is there a way to get that to not come up? Okay, so our cap is actually already increased. So, curry favours. We'll go back to... Were we currying favours? Oh, we don't... Okay, they don't trust us enough. So we would have to increase trust. So... I mean, which we are currently doing. Improving opinion. So we could maybe improve opinion with... Scotland? Because we don't want to get integrated. And... Gosh, we just need someone to give us some money or invest in us. We could grant some trading. Yeah, okay, this is a bit. Let's grant rights to Venice, and they can build like a trading thing in our territory if they really want to. Let's see what comes of that. How is Sam doing? Sam is absolutely a-okay. He's got full winter fluff at the moment, which is very lovely, and I love running my fingers through it. But come spring, it's going to end up all over the carpet in clumps. So, yeah. But I do enjoy his winter fluff. Right, do I maybe... So we're going for development at the moment, which is just absolutely crawling up. Should we set them to encourage migration? We so badly need extra population. Let's go for encourage migration. A tin wall. Okay, so this is new, right? We can call a parliament. Oh, okay, so this is like how much support the things have, which presumably then means how likely they are to be able to pass. So, trade expedition, which would increase our trade capacity. We can promote a member of the clergy, which presumably means they could be then put into the cabinet, expand officer lists. We would, if it passes, we would get a new character who would be just a dude. Expand gravel and road network. Centralization towards... Okay, so we'll try... Or we could gain 7 stability. Or lose 7 stability. Let's try... Let's try debate conducting a census. So presumably that figure was like... so if I clicked the 80% thing, it would have been something that started with a huge amount of initial support. We can also have... So we can... Okay, so we can call a parliament and do things, and we can also have specific requests. We presumably still have... because that was going to be like 700 odd days, wasn't it? So somewhere where it tells me how long the current thing is that we're... That must be somewhere. So that's current research. There must be somewhere that says what your current law shift is. I've actually gained some legitimacy and 5% support in the Tinwald. So we're just accumulating interest. I don't know what we do about that. I don't think there is anything we can do about that. So we're just going to be continually taking out loans, and I don't know what happens if you take out too many loans. Well, talking of Sam, he's actually hovering outside the window, so I'll let him in, and we might hear a bunch of meowing very soon. Hello. He would like me to tell you that he's a very, very underfed little pussycat, and he never ever gets any kind of affection or attention, and I'm just horrible and mean to him all the time. Also, this is a very... I've just realised, like, this is Lewis and Harris, right? And then you've got the Long Isles, well, not the Long Isles, the Southern, the Uists and Barra and all that. I mean, it's not a great representation, but it's sort of very roughly correct. But this sort of even split between Lewis and Harris is like, that's Lewis and like that's Harris. It's very wrong. I don't know why that hasn't struck me until now. I mean, I guess they've just done it for clarity's sake, but it is very, very wrong. Right, we've maxed out Diplo actions. Are we improving relations with Scotland? Yes, we are. We're already doing that, so that's fine. Oh yeah, no, it's right there. Premium opinion. Curry favours. I don't know who likes us the most. Curry favours with the Isle of Man. I don't know if the Isle of Man can help us with very much, to be honest. Let's improve opinion with the papacy. I wonder if we could... I mean, even just looking at Ireland, you can see there's a lot more granularity than there was before. So instead of it just being like Ulster, it's now like a bunch of... It's like 3 different polities? 4? But I wonder if we could... Earldom of the Glens? Yes, you've taken another loan. So we could curry favours with them, build spy network. I'm wondering if we could, like, I guess curry favours. I'm just wondering if we can, like, how easy is it to, like, Diplo annex people and like play the diplomatic game and expand that way. Right, anyway, a minor scandal has occurred during the current debates. Some members of the Tynwald were out disturbing the peace and harassing their fellow countrymen. So we can either let it slide or we can arrest the Tynwald members. And we'll go with that. Well, let's arrest the unruly parliamentarians. That's a cat, by the way. Say hello, Samuel. Oh, now I've pointed the microphone at you. You don't want to. I see how it goes. Right. That didn't work. Okay, never mind. I don't know how often we can do that. Parliament. So do we have to wait for the Tynwald to be in session? Oh, okay, but we need support. Which at the moment we don't have a lot of support. Okay. Okay, right, that's fine. One of our advisors has suggested selling off titles to the chieftains. Okay, so we can sell titles and the estate gets a bit grumpy with us because we're sort of devaluing what they're worth. Or we can gain some estate satisfaction, which, to be honest, we probably need, so we'll go with that. I don't think the gold's worth it. Right, having gotten up to let's Sam it, I'm getting a bit croaky, so I'm going to get some water, and I'm also going to give some food to the poor little boy, because he's just a poor little boy. And if I don't give him some food, he's going to start knocking things over and being unruly and sitting in front of the screen and generally being a fluffy butthead. Yeah, not that you would ever do that, would you, Sam? No, you would never be a fluffy butthead. It's lies and calumny, isn't it? Come on, then. I'm definitely out of practice at this. I forgot how dry your throat can get when you sat there talking for, God, however long it's been already. Hello, Latty. Yeah, it's not even a kingdom. It's basically a countydom. For some reason, they've decided Carlaway is like the seat of the... I don't know. They don't even have the I Peninsula correct. Like, what's this supposed to be? I have no idea. This is not at all an accurate map of the Western Isles, even as a little representation. The main settlement should be sort of around here, and that should be a peninsula. And then for some reason, when you look at Harris, it's all, I don't know. We have multiple locations. It is a bit odd that they don't have the standing stones. They should have the standing stones, even if it's just a little cosmetic thing on the map. I bet they've got, yeah, see, they've got... Oh no, they don't. I thought they did. So we've got Windsor Castle there. Presumably that's going to be... is that just a representation of the forts? Okay, so they don't have... Oh, maybe there'll be some pack that comes along later and it'll be like, here's the standing stones. Can I invade Finland? Is there even a Finland at the moment? No. There is Sweden. And then there's a bunch of unsettled provinces. So, you know, I could play East Sweden. I wonder if you could play Sweden and like release Finland. I don't know, that might be possible. Well, this is me just poking around at things and trying to figure out the basics at the moment. Although I've not really chosen an easy start. I've chosen somewhere that has no manpower, no economy, and basically can't do very much of anything. I think starting as Scotland itself might be easier. But we're having a go as the Lordship of the Isles. I bet you don't know who the current Lord of the Isles is, although you might do, I don't know. We're just slowly accumulating interest. So our economy is just steadily getting worse and worse and worse. There's not a lot we can do about it. So we've got some tiny paltry amount of trade income. So we're doing... Is that cloth? Is that wool? Fine cloth. So we've got like a trader that is importing a little bit and it's generating a little bit of money. I think if you were going to make any kind of money, this would be the way to do it, is to go for trade. So we might try and go for trade. Like try and lean towards plutocracy ideas. Can we... Wait, we now have chieftains being separate from the clans? Interesting. I don't know how that works. Right, admin laws, de jure laws, legal code. It must show you somewhere where it has like the current laws being changed or passed. But I'm honestly not seeing it. So if anybody knows where that is, do let me know. Because it would be good to try and figure that out. Because I honestly have no idea. So far in terms of like stability, like there was a little bit of hitching when we were first playing, but that seems to be okay, and we have not had any crashes or anything, so there we go. So monthly diplomats has gone up a little bit. It doesn't remember where you were last looking, which is a little bit meh. Right, so institution growth, let's go with guilds. Does it have... It's got other things in the right place, like Inverness, Fort William, should be around here somewhere, Loch Harbour. Aberdeen, Perth, Elgin. I don't know. Our current base of operations is actually down on Skye. I don't know if we can actually move it up to Lewis. We move capital, or is that... Not enough books in the Edinburgh market. We need books in order to move capital. Interesting. Interesting. So we have some heretics popping up. Filthy heretics! Yes, yes, following Davies have attrition. I don't know, that's why I parked them up there, because I was like, oh, that's the capital, but it's not. It's down here in what it's calling Eel. I don't know where that would be. Yeah, the only thing it seems to be doing with the automation is like tweaking the minting income, but it's not nearly enough to overcome what it's costing us. So we're a 70% loyal vassal at the moment. Can we can invite settlers apparently. Ah, so we can use our favours. Request market access preference. Do that. Yeah, invite settlers might be interesting. So, Inner Hebrides, Outer Hebrides. Let's go with Inner Hebrides. So we might be able to bump our population up a little bit that way. And we are getting a little bit of extra migration to Lewis from that cabinet member. Okay, so there we go. We have a... Oh. Okay, what you doing, what you doing? New loan, guilds... Okay. Oh, okay, that's just like the randomize button. That's fine. Right, the Age of Renaissance. Admin focus, Diplo focus. So we can choose... Okay, this is new. Probably admin focus. Debts and loans. Court accounting. Thirst for knowledge, empiricism. Yeah, let's go for admin focus. Current research. Right, so that was also a thing that popped up, so we can go for scholasticism. Maybe that is our next thing. Construction speed, RGO. Price institution cost. I'll go for that. The fact that you can queue up stuff is quite nice. Okay, so enhanced spies for 10 years. Interesting. Presumably because we've been, like, spying on people. So that gives me faster spy construction, network construction. Is there anything we can do with England? Market access preference? We don't actually... is there a markets overlay? So we don't trade in that market at all, so yeah, that I don't think there's any point in doing that. Okay, so that's just control. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Right. So yeah, we'll just go back to topography. So that's part of Ross. Okay. I think we already knew that. Possible diplo actions. Proof. Relations with. I don't even know. I think we're already doing that. Let's improve relations with them. I have no idea if we can, like, get a bit more land this way, but that would be kind of... can ally with them. So ask for money is like 25 favours. Institution appeared in Genova. Banking, okay. And Renaissance in Parma. So having settlers reduce the population elsewhere? Maybe. Presumably. Cultures, population. So here we go. It's actually a population overlay. So yeah, EU4 heavily abstracted population and used the development metric instead. EU3's like implementation of province population was, to be honest, pretty flawed. And by the end game, you could get completely utterly unrealistic populations going on. So it'll be interesting to see how this compares. But as you can see, we are very sparsely populated. And presumably, yes, any population, like there's population growth going on, but migration will presumably also affect population. So, yeah, we'll see. Right, the doctrine of particular judgment. A monk in, I don't know where that is, Ireland, has started a doctrinal dispute that verges on heresy, claiming that there's no purgatory and saying that prayers for the dead do not assist their passage to heaven. He is probably a heretic, or the dead cannot be helped. Interesting. Should we just sort of deliberately try and move away from Catholicism and see what happens? See if we can get the wee freeze to pop up. So from what we're doing with the cabinet mobile, we're getting a tiny trickle of people coming to Lewis and to Sky. Is it possible to tell? Will it? I don't know what effect that encouraging. Yeah, I don't know what effect that attracts. You know, ask for settlers thing from Scotland. Like, is it going to tell me? Does that have an effect on how many will show up, or like you can immediately see the difference with Lewis? How much higher that is. We've also got sort of low population growth in general. So because these are sparsely populated, move away from Catholicism. Well, you know, it might come to that. We'll see. Okay, so transportation distance does have an effect on what your market access is like. See, it did say we had. It's all very yellow, so is that? Yeah, okay. So that's part of my jurisdiction as well. What was I thinking? I don't know. Anyway, I was having some kind of brain thought and it's gone now. Cardinals have enacted Dei Gratia Rex, which is something kings, the grace of kings. I don't know. God graces kings. I don't really have any Latin, so. But that is. It'd be nice if it had some historical context for what that is, but basically, yeah, noble estate equilibrium. So our nobles are likely to be happier or become happier easier. I don't really know. We are making a bit of money from trading now. It's trickling up slightly, but we are just absolutely hammered with. I don't know, even if I dropped all diplomatic spending, that's only 0.11 gold. It's less than we're spending on the one ship. Interest is now by far our greatest expenditure. I can't really do it. By the grace of God. Oh, okay. Yeah, every administration tries to cut deals that will be to its benefit, and many are willing to bend the truth a little to achieve their goals. So, merchants from the Isles. Okay, so apparently merchants have a reputation for telling little porcupines and fibs. So we get distrusted merchants for 10 years, which reduces our trade advantage. That's unfortunate. Okay. Can we get Any interesting things from... Oh yeah, we can curry favours from Scotland. Okay, we need to curry favours before we can actually have favours to spend. That would help. And can we curry favours from England? No, we don't have enough trust. Okay. I mean, it's obviously, you know, telling porcupines in the somewhat Dibbler sense of the pies may have at some point been in the presence of a pig. Maybe. Possibly. I've also just glanced at my thing in horror and realised I might be recording at way too low a bitrate. Hang on. Right, hopefully I haven't completely ballsed up the first, like, 2 hours of recording. I don't know. I may have done. Right, so yeah, actually, it'd be lovely if I could just, like, get money from people. But alas... grant them aid, why not? We have no money to give, but let's give them money anyway. I have no idea. Oh, ask them to come our state bank? Okay, you can actually... Okay. Because there's actually quite a lot of politics that goes around the creation of things like the Bank of England and the Bank of Scotland and the Royal Bank of Scotland, so... Yeah. That's quite interesting. Okay. I don't know, who else can we curry favours with? That actually has some money. Who can we curry favours with that has money? France, maybe? Yeah, let's try and curry favours with France. Get the old alliance going. Kind of. Right, we can get someone to move here. Oh, we don't care about the Mulmaiden of Ross. Sure, let's have a guy. Let's have a guy. I have no idea. Well, this is a fun experiment in what happens when your debt spiral becomes totally unsustainable. Because we basically have no taxes. We only have minting. Oh, interesting. We can have 100 Highland Pops migrating each month from Ross to the Inner Hebrides. Absolutely, we will do that. We need the population. So it's not going to be a huge amount of extra population, but it's going to be extra population nonetheless. So we have, I mean, Lewis and Harris, we've basically got barely anyone living there. Man, integration takes a long time. But presumably once we have integrated, we'll be able to get more money, maybe? I have no idea. Yeah, it's been a good couple of months, the pan. But yeah, EU5 has come along and I decided I was actually going to... I was going to use that as the excuse to fire up the stream. Right, can we... Like, display in log, we don't necessarily need that to pop up every single time because it's popping up a lot. Okay, someone's gained the gallant trait, that's fine. Institution appeared in Paris, professional armies. Right. So our current... Is there a way of like seeing family trees and things? I don't think so. Oh no, wait, there we go. Dynastic trees. Wow, that is pure CK3. Excellent. This is what we want. So, yeah, this is just the random commoner lady we married. Oh no, no, this is our sister who has... Oh, she's married to... Okay. Did that just happen without me getting involved? Okay. Or was she already like betrothed when the game started and I didn't notice that? Anyway, that's fine. So yeah. So she's not going to be... No, we can still grant her cabinet rights, so presumably she's in... Oh yeah, she's still in the province, so... So her spouse is... Is this a local? Oh, where are you based? Oh, he's in Ross. Oh no, that'll have been from the start then, because it said we had marriage ties with Ross, so that's fine. And another child, in fact. I don't know if I can promise that the pan, but we'll see. I'm still getting like my work rota still is variable, but I'm doing night shifts now, so like something like 2/3 of my shifts at the moment are doing night cleaning shifts at work, so it means that my like the parts of the day when I'm not sleeping are obviously more free, but it has thrown my sleeping schedule around a bit. Right, so oh, you can actually... I've only just realised you can tilt the map a bit. How about that? This is not, by the way, like the very worst start I could have gone with. There's well, you can't see it there, but there's like a tiny little Norse colony on Greenland that you can go with. I think it's Norse, I'm not sure, and or you could start in the absolute mess of provinces that is the HRE. This is still, like, if you think this looks confusing, there is a mod for EU4 called Voltaire's Nightmare, where the map is literally just the HRE, and then you've got like a little bit of France and a little bit of Austria down the sides, and there are so many provinces. Like the HRE was such an absolute, like, there were literally hundreds. It was ridiculous. Right, cost of purchasing food minus 10%. Don't think that helps us at all, but yeah, we'll see. What was technology again? It was in the advances screen, wasn't it? So if we actually look at advances, I think, do we have to have all of the Age of Tradition advances unlocked before we can start on Age of Renaissance advances? I'm guessing yes. Requirements not met. Oh, okay, so certain things are based on... Okay, so we don't have meritocratic things going on. So that whole thing is blocked off, so yeah. So Diplo capacity plus 10%. Army tradition. Stability investment plus... that actually might be quite useful. Add that to the research queue. And it actually numbers it for you, which is quite nice. Just queue up all the things. Construction speed, which benefits me not at all. Maximum RGO size, which again benefits me not at all because I don't have the manpower. But what can you do? Anyway, this is a bit closer though. To the like playing the HRE now is going to be interesting because before it had to have its own unique mechanic, and now it's all folded into this. Gosh, where was it? What ages? Organisations. There we go. It's now folded into being an organisation. So every kind of like international political alliance or church or anything is now an organisation. Things like the High Kingship of Ireland, Swiss Confederation, marriage unions, like international coalitions. Okay. Oh, one of our cabinet members has gone a bit uppity, has denounced our Lord's policies and done so in front of foreign ambassadors. Off with his head! We can just literally chop that guy's head off. We can be like tyrants. It doesn't seem to have any effect other than that the guy dies. Am I that petty? Or we could lose legitimacy. Which we can afford to lose a bit of legitimacy, so that's fine. That's actually ticking up at a decent rate. Scotland appears to have become Alba? Or was it always Alba and I just didn't notice? I don't know. Right, we were currying favours. Does it just tap out at a certain level? Or I'm not entirely sure how it works, to be honest. Can profess trust in Scotland. Diplo rep -2. Okay, well, we want them to like us. So that's affected our diplomatic reputation. Which I'm honestly not sure what the main effect of that is, but okay, they would give me money if I had enough favours. Interesting. Well, yes, I mean, I live here, so the pan, I do happen to know it's the Gaelic name for Scotland, yes. So if I click curry favours, sometimes it seems to like unselect itself. I'm not entirely sure. I don't 100% understand how all these things work just yet. Right, what's got the biggest like shortfall in workforce? Right, that's actually... Okay, that's... So this is a soldier building. We've got a fishing village and... Clan seat. Okay, that's like our sort of... primary fortification, I guess. So opening the building won't make pops work in it, is it? Is that currently... So did that like automatically close for a lack of workers? Available labourers is only 250 though. Available soldiers. Okay, I'm sort of like, how does one destroy fishing? We don't want to destroy fishing village. We want to... I don't know. There's a lot of things I don't really like. This is how we expand like the primary RGO, for example, but we need money for that. So, man, there's still there's still so many things. But that seems like it's just about reached equilibrium, apart from like if we wanted soldiers in terms of... Oh no, that's just available peasants. Okay, so how do I... How do I like activate? Or is this all... Because is it... I can't do anything because I've got everything automated at the moment. That might be it. So how do I see here what buildings I've got versus what buildings I can build? Because this to me looks like it's the buildings I can build. I don't know. There's still like this is one of the criticisms I saw, is that the UI is like trying to figure out what things do and where things are is not necessarily the easiest thing. So is this what's available within this particular province? Or is this just what could be built? I think that's what could be built within that kind of labourer tab. So there, for instance, it says available for employment, but current employment 0, and there's that by contrast says available for employment 0, but current employment 1,000. So there's up to 1,000 jobs available there, but not necessarily anyone that's employed there. So this fishing village could have up to 1,000 people. So we have a fishing village there, but it doesn't seem to have anyone working at it, so... How do we open the building? How do we make the building work? Is my question. So we can subsidize the building. Oh, open building, there we go. Maybe that's why. Maybe it was like auto turned off because the profit would be less than... I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if there's like an overview somewhere. Air can have better education. Go for admin education, that's fine. What games am I playing these days? Let's pause this for a second. Oh, intelligent trait, that's nice. Right, let's have a look at my recently played games on Steam. I've been playing some warships, but mainly just grinding for the various events going on at the moment. Not much playing it for fun. Power Wash Simulator 2 just came out, so I've played that a bit. I've played a bit of EU4 up until the run up of EU5 releasing. A little bit of Euro Truck Sim sometimes on my Steam Deck. I play Grounded from time to time. I was playing a bit of Starfield. And sometimes I dip in and play a couple of rounds of Helldivers too. And I think that's about it at the moment in terms of like the majority of what I've been playing. But there are... Oh, and CK3 as well. I played a bit of All Under Heaven and checked out some of the new stuff that you can do, so there was some good stuff in there. And I did see Farthest Frontier. Like, there's too many games at the moment. Farthest Frontier has actually released into full release, like the 1.0 release. So I'm going to have a go at that again at some point as well. Because last time I tried that was probably like over a year ago. There was still a whole bunch of features that had yet to be added at that point. Oh, okay. Excellent appointment to the cabinet. So we can... Excellent minister. We can get excellent minister for 5 years. Or we can get 10 prestige. Let's get 10 prestige. Which helps us out a little bit. Prestige is good. Right, so... So, how do I see an overview of buildings I have versus buildings I want to build? I'm not entirely sure if you can do it from there. See, at the moment, salt would be a very useful thing. We seem to not really have salt. But we would need a big chunk of cash to actually build that. Oh, so we're no longer carrying favours from Scotland again. So I don't really... I don't know. I don't quite really understand... Does it just... So we have 5 at the moment. Oh. So limit 25. Favours owed to us 7 plus favours we owe them. Oh, so it goes both ways. So that's why it cancels. So is it like a zero-sum game? Where there's a total of 25 in that relationship between countries? And like you swap back and forth? Is that how that works? Maybe? It's not entirely clear to me. So we can employ people. And that's fine, but that doesn't necessarily help our economy with the things that we have. Don't think there's any buildings here, no. So we basically started off with a couple of fishing villages and that's it. But we do have... We are growing... What says fibre crops? I don't know, what would that be? Honestly not sure. Right, so I still don't entirely understand how sort of buildings and production work, but yeah, I don't know. We're figuring things out. How's Ultimate Admiral doing? I mean, that's kind of now relying on modders for any kind of forward anything. There's a guy called... Is it Brother Monroe? I can't remember. Basically, YouTuber decided he was going to do his own like overhaul mod. The Dreadnought Improvement Project. And it adds a whole bunch of stuff. I think they're up to either version 3 or version 4 for that, or 0.3 or 0.4 or whatever it is. How's this compared to 4? Anything groundbreaking? There's a lot that's different from 4. I mean, probably the biggest difference is there's no longer, you're not reliant on ticking pools of points apart from diplomacy. And everything else seems to be basically different. There's some stuff that does harken back to EU3. There's a lot of influence from other games that have released since EU4. So yeah, I don't know. It like initial impressions are good, but I think this is going to maybe take a little while before I can even begin to like properly get a handle on what's going on overall. Okay, so oh yeah, okay, because we're a subject, so we can't do things like access actions. Okay. Buy location is interesting. Does that mean we could potentially try and like buy territory off our overlord? If we had enough cash? So if you could have enough cash, you could literally just cozy up to a neighbour and say, I want to buy some of your territory. Which actually is quite nice. That always bugged me. I think EU3 and maybe EU4. Like, you could offer to give people bits of territory or sell territory, but you could never offer to buy territory. So they finally made that a thing. Oh, right, we can call another Tinwald. And travel rides, increase ties to neighbours. Diplo rep +2. Let's do that. Let's see if we can actually. Okay, so these things you can only do while Parliament is in session debating something else, and you have to have sufficient support to do it. Right. Okay. We can actually see the... oh, okay, it's there. Value. So this is the various kind of axes that you are operating on at the moment. So when you see all the things of like centralization versus decentralization, like, okay, it's just sort of, the limits are, it's two things on a single axis, but you add all those different axes together and you can get something a little more complicated going on. And you can see which way that you're shifting with various things at the moment. So we're ticking slowly towards maximum decentralization. And it shows you the maximum sort of scale of things, and it shows you actions you could take to further push one way or the other. So it gives you a lot of information. We're just barely ticking towards quantity. I would maybe like to go towards quality. But it doesn't matter either way at the moment because we have no manpower. So you could, I mean, you could use this to be like, if you went all the way towards communalism and like free subjects and plutocracy, you could create a sort of proto-communist state if you really wanted to. Right, so imperial authority modifier, that's not going to affect me at all. Parliamentary traditions. So we get 10% support in the Tinwald. Okay, which is nice, that's a good thing. So we currently are... So that would need to... Can we get support? So we would lose some research progress. So you can try and ask for support, but it comes at a cost. Okay, right. Gain naval developments for 10 years. Monthly Navy tradition. Is that going to be in the military tab somewhere? Let's automate those for the time being. So morale, discipline, tactics. And then you have individual like types. So if we had the money, but I don't think there's any way we can actually recruit. Like, we have a... I think that's like the potential cap. 193? I don't know. Anyway, so why does it tell us Navy tradition? Well, there it is. So that's going to tick up like in a minuscule amount. Army tradition. We actually do have a slight bonus to it from having martial society. So that's very, very slowly ticking up as well. We're fairly loyal at the moment overall. It'd be interesting. Is there a map mode where you can see how many favors you have? Oh wow, you can really get quite granular with... There are lots of map modes. Okay, that's quite nice. Uh-oh. Okay, here it is, the Black Death. Yeah, the Black Death has appeared. Is that one of the default ones, or is that... geography map modes. Diseases. Okay, so you can tag things to add on the bar. Issue fails. Oh no, okay, we didn't have enough support. So there we go, bubonic plague has popped up. So I don't know. I don't know if this is going to be like a situation or does it. So that's a mild disease. That's like influenza. Yeah, I don't know, but that is. I mean, it's fine. The Black Death. It's just going to be like a little case of the sniffles, right? It's fine. It's fine. It's just a little case of the sniffles. Absolutely fine. Nothing to worry about. Absolutely fine. No, nothing to be scared about whatsoever. Right, I don't think we can actually do anything with our Diplo. Well, we've got a couple of favours curried with France. We could request military access. Doesn't do us much good. Yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of things are going to be kind of like quite slow burn in this game. It's not like Civ where you can be like, I want to have a quick game, I want to have a long game. Although Civ 7 was really not geared towards, I want to have a long game. Civ 7 really did fall over. Right, we've researched Roman Orthodoxy, which gives us cultural tradition plus 10%. So cultural tradition, whole primary. So that's culture. Where's culture going to be? Society. So that like I don't know. Still figuring things out. Don't know. Don't precisely know what a lot of these things mean yet. Oh dear. Is this the second son? Or the second child? This is the daughter. She's slow. We've got one that's intelligent and one that's slow. So we've got character traits, which is again quite nice. I mean, we have character traits in like Stellaris and there was limited character traits in EU4, but it's interesting to see them implemented a little more strong. I think they were in Imperator as well, but I'm not 100% sure. Obsessive perfectionist. Oh yeah, this is fine. This is fine. Look at this. This is fine. What happens to Civ 7? I mean, it's just the game design was fundamentally flawed. I think to the point where a lot of people. It's like when Imperator came out, and a lot of people were just like, meh. So it's the exact same thing with Civ 7. Like the fundamental ideas behind the game were just kind of fundamentally flawed, and I should reinstall it and see, because I've had some patches since then, but it's not going to like change the core of the gameplay, so I don't know if I'll still enjoy it that much, but procure remedies. Sure, we can do that. Prestige, or let's lose estate satisfaction. Build disease resistance buildings. We can't do that. Isolate the country. Requirements not met. So the Black Death. The Black Death. It's not going to be nice. I wonder how it'll, like, if there's going to be tied with the situation of the Black's already 165k. Because because the amount of like social upheaval in the aftermath of well, the first appearance of it anyway, because suddenly like so many people died that all across Europe, it directly led to like guilds and other various institutions gaining a lot of power, because suddenly labor was worth so much more. And like it was suddenly possible for, you know, organizations to have a lot more clout, throw around a lot more power. Stability improvement, investment. So stability will sort of be a little bit more positive, which is nice. Gosh, look at that. It's already shot up to 500,000. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how it handles that post-Black Death period. So how is our cabinet stuff going? So you're still integrating the... yeah, it's not particularly effective at that. Apparently that's a martial thing, apparently, so... Do we have someone that's going to be way better at that? Yes. Someone who's going to be way more effective at that. And then... That's an admin thing, so we'll assign you to that slot. So presumably head of the cabinet means they will... that particular estate will be happier with us. I still don't get why we have clans and chieftains as separate, like, estates. I don't know. But the commoner estate has vanished completely, so... It seems like estates can change and grow and shrink and even disappear and presumably appear over time, which is interesting. $750,000? Yeah, I mean, that's fine, that's fine. How's this going? So yeah, the 100 Years War still rumbling on. End requirements. Okay, oh, that's quite a complicated checklist. Okay. So there's various ways in which this can end. That will trigger the end of that situation. Is that... I guess that doesn't really affect the Black Death in the same way because it's a disease. It's just going to, like... Ah, yeah, there we go. No location has the disease present, so it's just going to... 1,000,000 deaths! It's fine! It's fine! So, I mean, if we look at... Where did it start? I can't remember exactly. But, yeah, a lot of these places are going to be... heavily depopulated. Hey, Fruitapia. Yep, a thing is happening. Institution growth, 10%. Okay. I will take it. Right, I've got about a half hour left. And... Oh. Various heretics popping up. That's fine. Yeah, I've got about a half hour left of streaming time, so I will have to wrap things up relatively soon. But first impressions of this overall are that there is a lot of depth, there's a lot of things to unpick, but that it also, especially if you've never played if you've never played a Paradox game before and you're coming to this, then I would pity you. But if you've some experience, even not necessarily with EU4, although that would help, or EU3, but just other Paradox titles in general, you will recognise bits and pieces and systems with how things work. See you, Foo. So, yeah, it's going to be deep and complex. That's possibly going to be off-putting to a lot of people, but I think for Paradox fans, it's going to be, my opinion after like 20 or 30 hours is going to be different maybe than my opinion now, and who knows what my opinion after 100 hours will be. Right, we're approaching 2 million deaths. It's already popped up in Italy, so it's not just sweeping across. It's not just following, an expanding wave across the land borders, but it's also travelling along sea trade routes as well. So, yeah. Cabinet member, you're doing a thing that needs military. So it actually prioritises based on the current task as well, which is quite nice. So how long is that going to take? Oh, we've actually got some consolidation happening in Ireland. So Tyrone has gobbled up a lot of. So let's improve opinion with Tyrone, I guess. Oh, there was historically quite a lot of across the narrow part of the Irish Sea. There was quite a lot of cross-cultural contact between the Ulster area and Western Scotland. To the point where in Northern Ireland there's a kind of there's literally Ulster Scots. There's an Ulster variation of Scots. So it's not exactly it's not exactly like this little strip of water was preventing a lot of. I don't know what I'm trying to say there, but yeah, it's just an interesting little. The Scottish influence in Northern Ireland is it goes back quite a long way. Right. I can invite settlers from. I can invite settlers from England potentially. Let's invite settlers to the Hebrides. We're still. So we're still, we're still needing workforce. We absolutely need workforce. Production. So that's the market, but what about... Does it run by market rather than by country? See, Inner Hebrides is producing enough. Okay, so that's fine. The Inner Hebrides is producing enough that we are at a positive food balance. Well, the Nordic influence goes back a long ways as well, but after the Nordic influence, when it sort of started to become more Scottish, and you get the shift from kind of Norse to Gaelic in these kind of Irish Sea adjacent areas, you start to get more kind of lowlands influence coming on as well. But I mean, it goes back a long way. It goes back before Norse settlers came to Scotland even. Right, expanded archives, deploy capacity plus 20%. I don't know what that means unless it's our total cap. Oh, okay, it's that figure there. Okay. So we're currently using none of our deploy capacity. I don't know. I don't know what else we can... I'm not sure what else we can do at the moment. Like, we could sell bits of land to Ulba, but I'm not sure that would be necessarily something we want to do. Well, I mean, the Vikings got everywhere. You know, the Viking settlers, you ended up... The Danes and the Norse through bits of Scotland and the north of England, and then you had the Normans coming along in north of France, and you even had Norse settlers in the north of Spain. And then, of course, you had Iceland and even a brief Norse colony in Greenland before the climate said no. And then you even had them, you know, like going the other way, and like traders and whatever traveling down all the rivers into Russia, and a lot of the modern oh okay, all right, we're at war, not that I can do much about that. Yeah, so, you know, man, those Vikings, the Norse, you know, they could have went everywhere. Even ended up with the Varangians down in the ERE. So, yeah. Play any of those texts? Yeah, I mean, yeah, you could play, like, if you see it on the map, you can play it, basically. I don't think there are any restrictions. It's not like CK, where you have to play as some kind of dynastic whatever. Oh, yeah, there we go. The Black Death has arrived. And we can actually see our own deaths as well. Move court into hiding. Yeah, we probably better do that. Control the food market. I don't think we need to do that. Social actions. Sponsor mass forgiveness. Gain stability. Okay, so there's things that we can do to try and mitigate things a little bit. Like, country deaths, 42. What's the overall? 20 million! 20 million. We're up to 20 million now. So, yeah. Black Death. Just kind of everywhere. Killing everyone. 23 million. That's fine. Advantage of a low population. I don't know how it works exactly. Like, could a province become fully depopulated? I don't know. But advantage of not having a high population particularly is we might end up with not like losing a huge amount of population. But we'll see. I don't know how it works exactly. Yeah, it's just like anything to do with gaining a bit of money at the moment. It's just so far not worth it. Yeah. Just permanently crippling debt, it's fine. $26 million. So yeah, we've only had a couple of A very small number of people die so far. Now, what is this war? What is the goal of this war? Oh, it's literally shows superiority. So it's literally just like for prestige? Not entirely sure. I don't know. Not entirely sure what the point of that is. Unless we get like... well, unless Scotland gets some like money out of it or whatever at the end. Locations depopulating. Some locations are losing their... maybe places can fully depopulate. I don't know. We're up to 700 having died now, so... yeah, it's not like these are particularly populated places to begin with. Right, social cravings. Many people have avoided large gatherings and public festivities out of fear. Right, we can't risk the spread, which will lose stability. So we can either have... oh, we can actually go towards free subjects. But that's just like a one-time tick. That's not like the actual, like, permanent score shift. Or that'll take us towards... I mean, we'll just go with that. I don't think the commoners even have an estate at the moment. Yeah, also our estate power is apparently 0. We have very little, like, actual influence. $35 million. Goody goody. Right, so like 1,500 total. Like that's the population of like Harrison, the US, almost. Yeah, no, this is not... oh, is that now fully integrated? Because he's moved on. I told him to do there, so does he... does my cabinet... do they just go around integrating until they're done integrating? I don't know. How do I tell where if somewhere's integrated or not? I don't know. Would that be in demography? Oh no! Well, he's dead. We've got our regent. We can actually move to Lewis. So through consort regency. So we currently have a regent, which is his wife, and if his son survives, he's currently 7. We won a war! Yay, I totally did that. That was totally me. Alright, okay, Alba has actually taken some land within like Ulster and Tyrone, so yeah, okay. We can actually gain stability. Less taxes for commoners for 5 years. We're not getting any taxes anyway, so what the heck? Doesn't matter. That's fine. But yeah, how do I tell what's integrated and what's not is a question. Diplomacy, military access. Oh, integration, there we go. Okay, so there's a map mode for that. I swear I was telling them to integrate there. I'm not sure why they've switched to integrating there. Unless that's part of the same, like, state. And it's integrating them both at the same time. Not 100% sure. Again, figuring this out as I go along. Okay, so we have... Oh, we actually... Okay, so there's different tabs for it. So this is like the main situation. And we can see how many it's killed in total. 43 million! It's fine. It's fine. But we can also kind of have a completely local view so we can see like what proportion of our population have died. Which is like 6,000 out of like 24,000. Or out of like 30,000 at its peak. Nearly 7,000. It's fine. It's fine. Everything is fine. So we can see other potential diseases there, but yeah, no, that is horrific. The Black Death is absolutely horrific. Unsurprisingly. Right. Okay, the plague miasma will only harm the soil quality. Damaged soil for 2 years. Raw materials output. That's really not going to affect us that much. Pop satisfaction will go down, but we'll go towards centralization a little bit. So the soil must remain arable. Yeah, let's go with that. I wonder how many Scotland's lost. Is there a way to see that? What the population of Scotland is and was? Well, there we go. Population 419,000. And England has... nearly 2 million, so they'll have lost quite a few. So, yeah, this is hitting us pretty hard. Like, the absolute numbers aren't that high, but then our population was not that high, so I was thinking, man, maybe this won't be so bad. No, it's quite bad. It's quite bad. So yeah, I don't know if we could do much about that at the moment other than just kind of ride it out. I don't know how long this lasts for either. When did it start? 1346, we're now 1349. Nearly 50 million dead. I think it's peaked. It seems to be dying out at this point. This particular wave of it. Interest is up to almost 2 ducats a month. Income 0.04. We're not even making any trade income at the moment, presumably because everything's collapsed. If we look at this market, right, we have almost no trade capacity. The market value is actually not too bad, but we just get so little of it. Corruption among the clergy. Meant to be incorruptible, after all that's what they preach. However, they do not always live up to their own teachings. How about that then? That's shocking. Absolutely shocking. So we can gain stability for a cost of estate satisfaction, or they can basically bribe us. Let's go with gain stability. I think stability might be good at the moment. But that also gives us an unhappy estate. So what does that do? Oh, the estates. Okay, aiming to build a... So can the estates build stuff themselves? Interesting. So they can, like, construct things independently of whoever's in charge. Maybe. Maybe. Right, yeah. Curry favours. Who can we curry favours from? The rebellious princes. Where are the rebellious? Who or what is the rebellious princes? Interesting. We are a fair bit stronger than them. I don't know how that's possible. They seem, unless they're just like as destitute as we are. I don't know. Anyway, I've got... Oh, that's a slightly... I've just noticed that. I've when you look at the different... Like, I didn't... I've not done that close up. That looks a bit weird, especially in a mountainous region. Yeah, so I don't know. Oh, someone's been excommunicated. The Consul of Frisia. And... Okay, another... heresy. I'm kind of tempted to click automate and see what happens. Like, what will it automatically try and do? Is that... Okay. Right, so I think we maxed out the amount of... embassy established? Oh, okay. So that's having automated it. I want to build a spy network in the Lordship of Man. Oh, okay. It's like just because it can do it. I don't see any particular advantage to doing that, but the computer seems to think that's something we should be doing, so okay. Right, that's died down now, just about 60 million. Sweet Jesus. We lost a total of 8,000 out of a total population of about 30,000, so that's a significant percentage. But it does seem to have passed now, so yeah. Not that our economy any favours, but not that we had much of an economy to begin with, so I don't know what to say there, really. So yeah, so far my impressions are vaguely positive, but like this is after a couple of hours of playtime, like 3 hours. So honestly, I really it's too early for me to give any definitive thoughts beyond what I've already given. But I think there is a lot of potential here, and I'm kind of like, I don't know how moddable this will be. So it'll be interesting to see what the established modders come up with as well. Because EU4 does have maybe it doesn't have quite the modding scene that like Stellaris and CK have, but there have still been some fairly significant overhauls and mods for EU4. So I won't be surprised if we get like a Mayu and Taxes mod for this at some point, which somehow aims to make the game even more complicated. I don't know. I guess we shall see. But yeah, for anyone that's kind of not sure though, this is not a game I would recommend someone who's unfamiliar with Paradox games. I would point them more towards like Hearts of Iron or Stellaris or CK3. But I think there's certainly potential here. Anyway, right, I'm going to end things there. I do have to like go get ready. What's my shortcuts not? Shortcuts. There we go. Shortcuts. Yeah, I do have to go and start getting ready for going to work now that it's nice and late. Because yay, doing night shifts, but at least it's not raining. But yeah, I will come back to this. Absolutely, do more streams, and it might well be more of this. I'll probably play some more whilst not streaming. I actually don't know about warships, to be honest. It feels like I've not done a lot of playing random battles of warships. I've been playing a lot of like asymmetric battles and operations, and of course there's the current thingammy mode going on at the moment. The current special mode where we get to test out missiles, yay! But there might be enough between them to do a warship stream. I don't know. But yeah, we'll see. So I don't know when, but like maybe even tomorrow, depending. But it would certainly be the evening because I'm not going to be going to bed till like 6 or 7 in the morning, something like that. Anyway, I hope you have a good evening wherever you are, and yeah, I will catch you on the next one.